Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back to God Be Me podcast. We're so happy to be here again with you today, whatever time of the day you're watching this. We're your hosts. My name is Sophia Benyon, and this is my cousin, Peyton Benyon.
Welcome back to our channel, everybody. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will appreciate it so much.
So, shoot, so much went on this past couple weeks with the election. And of course, that's what we're going to be talking about. I think that's what everybody's talking about, thinking about, discussing, posting about, making videos about, making tweets and posts. And there's news. It's all about the election. But that's all anybody's talking about. So me and Peyton said, we're not going to be left out. We can talk about the election. And I think our subscribers would probably be curious who we voted for and why. And I've really noticed a trend of people just seriously dividing over the election issue.
Oh, yeah, people are spazzing out.
Like unfriending, unsubscribing. So we're asking you to stick around, at least for this video. After you watch this whole video and still feel to unsubscribe, well then, I mean, whatever floats your boat. But I don't think it'll be worth your while to unsubscribe. I think me and Peyton have something
People are
good to
so
say.
funny for
No matter
announcing
who
that.
you are. For
People are so,
announcing what?
and I am unsubscribing this second.
When they get in our comments and say that?
Like, nobody cared. Keep moving.
No, we appreciate all our subscribers. But yeah, the people that go out of their way to unsubscribe, somehow
funny.
it becomes... Because this is me and Peyton's thing. Our podcast is called Gotta Be Me. If you get offended by us out here being ourselves, we're very sorry, but we're not sorry. You know? We feel sorry for you, but we're not going to apologize for being who we are. And if that makes you unsubscribe, okay, well, then see you later.
Yep.
We loved you when you were here. And now that you're gone, we wish you a good life. You know, like, it just doesn't even matter.
Absolutely.
So, election. Who do we vote for? Peyton, who did you vote for?
That's an interesting question. We actually went live on TikTok, and that was
The night of the election.
the main question. We were going to do it all night, but we were bums, so we
After
went to
2.5 hours, we gave up.
We went to sleep. I was like, forget it, y'all. But yeah, that was the main asked question.
Yeah.
And when we finally revealed to everyone that we actually did not vote, it was
did not vote.
interesting. There were some people that were like, what a good thing. And there were some people who were like,
How
super
dare you?
upset about it. You are on here advocating for change and you're not even going to vote. And blah, 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 going on and on. Other people were like, y'all know that's right. Jesus for president, which that's funny too. That's not necessarily the slogan that I use to kind of explain myself, but it's funny either way. But yeah.
And I think, like, we could get into, and we did some on the live, why we didn't vote just from a Christian perspective of, like, God being in control and all blah, 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 blah. And I do believe that. Like, you know, I think about the story of Pharaoh and how God actually hardened his heart against the Israelites.
Absolutely.
Because he was going to work his will through that situation no matter what.
Mhm.
I think of Nebuchadnezzar when
Yes.
God told him, no, I rule in the affairs of men. I put up and take down kings. You think you're that much in control, but you don't. And just to show you, I'll make you a beast for 7 years, you know.
Yes, I'll show you.
God did show him. I think,
Yeah.
what was the scripture that you read?
God will turn the heart of the king in Proverbs 21 or yeah, 21, I think.
So, and I think we could definitely, like, we could do a study on that as
Absolutely.
to biblically why we feel like, you know, in general, not to vote.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not even the most... What's a good word? I don't know if I don't want to say it's an unpowerful reason, because I think the Bible is powerful, but the thing is, our other explanation for it is biblical.
Yes.
So yeah, I will say that. I don't think that explaining it in that direction, just of God being in control, is the most powerful way to explain
and
why
I feel
we
like
don't
a
vote.
lot of people believe that it's shallow, even that it's not. I think when they understand what we're about to say, they won't think it. It's not shallow. Yeah.
That reason isn't shallow.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't think they could misunderstand it in that way.
I actually, like, before anybody starts getting super mad about us not voting and thinking we don't care about the community and care about America, I always rebuke that as violently as I can.
I rebuke it.
I rebuke it. Because there's no way that that's the only way to create change, and there's no way that that's the biggest impact that I can have.
Yeah.
The most impactful way that I can create change. So if you know anything about us, we work in in the schools, the public city schools. Every day of the week, I'm working with children, day in, day out, and it is a non-for-profit business, and we are in there
all the time outside of school.
And
We're
not
involved in other
complaining.
community activities. We love this, by the way.
We
We're not out
love
here
it.
complaining. We're not out here boohooing, feeling sorry for ourselves, or trying to get pity.
We
We love what
believe
we
that
do.
it's our responsibility,
We're
and it's our
passionate about it.
due diligence.
And we're doing
Due
our due diligence.
It is our due diligence,
And more than that,
yeah.
to me, it's a passion.
Yeah.
I love teaching. I love helping people. I'm glad to put myself
Yeah.
to use in that
But
way.
all I'm saying is you're not gonna come over here and tell me that I don't care about America. I'm in here with America's children every single day, increasing their learning, educating them, bringing a different dimension of community that they might not have had before in their schools.
But
And
that
so you're
could
not gonna
increase.
you're not gonna come
Mhm.
at me from that angle particularly. I get really frustrated when people start
Yes.
talking like that. I'm
We're
like, no.
working to improve their quality of life and thereby the future.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
our
yeah.
goals and dreams and plans for this are futuristic. We're not just looking at these children, we're looking at how these children are going to become America. And of course we care. We care about our community, we care about the Black community, we care about our local community, we care about our state, and we
And
care
there's no
about
way people can
our country.
portray it that this is the only way that you can create an impact, or that you don't care if you don't vote, because that is absolutely not the case.
Not at all. But aside from that, I would say that the main reason that we don't vote is that politicians, good, bad, great desires or evil intentions,
Mhm.
intelligent or not so much,
Mhm.
liberal or conservative, helpful or unhelpful, beneficial or unbeneficial, whatever dimension you want to look at them in, all of them are trapped.
Mhm.
Brother Steph said married. They're married to a system that is built on injustice and that promotes it.
Mhm.
And you can vote for the lesser of two evils if you think of it that way. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying that all politicians are
Or
evil.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe people don't think one or the other is evil, and
Hmm.
that's okay too. I mean, not really, but it's okay if you
I
want.
mean, that's how you think.
Yeah.
So that's your opinion. I'm saying I'm saying both of them are both whatever politicians we're looking at are are working under and if with and inside of a system that will never change, will never give up its foundation of white supremacy, and
Mhm.
will never the system, I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the system, will never be in the interest of the American people.
Mhm.
So,
Would
I'm not saying all politicians don't care about Americans.
Mhm.
I think some truly do love America and
Mhm.
care about America and want to make it a better place. But
Mhm.
inside of the system that they're stuck in, they actually
Mhm.
cannot.
So we're using the word system a lot. I wish you'd explain to somebody what our definition of the system would be, because I feel like we're used to saying it a lot. And I heard a bunch of people commenting on the last video, like,
Like, what's the system?
how they're like, I'm not gonna get mad at them right now because I don't know what they're using the word system for or
Hmm.
synonymous with. So if you could somehow create an understanding about that for people, what we're speaking of.
So I feel like I find myself explaining this a lot, but that I still need practice on like
Mhm.
articulating it well. So help me, please.
Mhm.
But everything in life is a system, right? I mean, there's the educational system, we have
Right.
our political system and
Mhm.
judicial system. There's the food system, and there's a medical system, and there's an entertainment system, and
Mhm.
like everything is a system, right?
Everything revolves systemically.
But everything kind of ties in together and works together to be the American system or a system of Americanism.
Mhm.
And I think we have to go back to the founding of America to really understand it.
And how it was created to
And
run.
yeah, realize what America was create what create mm, how America was built, how why it was created, what for, and in what ways it was made. What how was it supposed to move forward after, the war for independence? What was America supposed to look like?
Mhm.
And I think because I think any building, if you look at a foundation, it tells you a lot about the building.
Mhm.
Okay, is the building going to be stable? Is the building going to? And we've seen America grow and change in a lot of positive ways.
Mhm.
But the American foundation has never changed.
Mhm.
The system that it was built on, the way it was built to run, has never changed,
Right, and the
and
way that
that was the problem.
the way that the money flows
Hmm.
hasn't changed. I believe
Who controls the money? Who controls the
yes.
media?
And so I think that's why we were talking about in another podcast. I don't know if we can redeem ourselves here, but we were talking about white supremacy
Hmm.
and how there cannot be any reverse racism
Hmm.
in What was it that we said why there could not be any reverse racism?
We were just saying there couldn't be reverse racism because the system um, is built to elevate white people, not in the interest of white people, but
Not
just
at
because this
all.
was the way that they
It's
found.
actually hateful towards white people.
Yes, it's oppression to them, but it was a way that they found to divide and conquer us. Okay, elevate white people and put down black people,
Mhm.
and it was a system that did this. And because there is no system that's doing that, in reverse, this is
Mhm.
what we said. Then there can be no reverse racism. But what you
There's
said later was we
mhm.
should have said. Go ahead, say what you were gonna say.
There's no money structure that is backing black people
As
being
a
able to be supreme in
mhm,
that way as it was for white people.
right,
Now it may not appear to be that way still, but that's the foundations of America, and
mhm,
it doesn't flow backwards. Like foundationally,
right.
we can't flow backwards from off the foundation because we're still America. We still run in the same sort of democracy.
We never went back and reckon. There was nobody to go. There has been nobody so far to
Mhm.
go back and reconcile that. And
That
until
is
we
true.
go back and
And
reconcile
and
that,
that's not to say that there can be no personal prejudice. I'm not saying there can't. This is where people I think get mixed up.
right,
A black person can be prejudiced against a white
right,
person.
a black person
That
can,
doesn't prove that now there is reverse racism. It
right.
has to be completely systemic. And there's things
Because
like that. People
okay,
talk about
let's
that
define
too.
racism quickly. Racism is technically a misnomer because there's only one human race, right?
Mhm.
So you can't be racist because I'm not a different race than you, you're not a different race than me. But what racism is a system, right, that teaches people that there are races and
It's
that one is
basically
better than another.
well, it's just simply divisions among men is what I've heard Brother Stephen say a lot of times.
Mhm.
And it basically has the same to us the same definition as if you look up sectism.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it would just
Just a
be
way to keep
any
people separate,
divisionary
right?
beliefs, yes. And we could see that along so many lines of
Mhm.
divisions. But
But race has been a big one, or like I would even say the main one that the system has used to keep us apart. I think America wants to just say, slavery's bad, okay? Like what's that little cartoon?
yeah.
They want to say slavery's bad and we're not going to do that anymore and so we're done. Without realizing that it takes a prophet because
Mm,
they're the ones that can time travel. It
mhm.
takes a prophet to go back and reconcile that. For
Yes.
example, you might think I'm crazy. You might think I'm crazy. But I don't think, and I got this from Brother Stephen, but I agree with him. To me, it makes so much sense.
Mhm.
I don't think they should tear down the statues of Southern Confederate generals.
Mhm.
Not because I don't think not because I don't think some of those were extremely racist men.
Mhm.
Not because of that, but because why would we tear down a memorial to something that has never been reconciled?
Mhm. It
We
hasn't been
haven't,
fixed.
we never fixed that. We never went back and fixed that. And until the black white issue is reconciled, it's not to be torn down. It's a monument to the struggle that we're still having, I think.
Absolutely, 100%.
So
And
just go ahead. I was just going to say, so basically, we were saying all that about reverse racism just to talk about the system. It's a
mhm.
system.
That's in place, and when in light of politics like the elections, why we don't vote, why we choose not to entangle ourselves in general with that sort of situation, just because I do not feel like that's the most impactful way
Hmm.
that I can be in the community.
And that's not to say that we would never vote on a more local level, or that even in some instances it would be okay to vote. It's not to say we would never ever vote, but just to
Mhm.
talk about in general our personal opinions and feelings about it. This is why we didn't vote, and this is how
Mhm.
we would express that kind of
And if you've been on the internet at all lately, people have been being like low key spazzing out on the internet
for real,
on both sides.
for
I
real.
think there's a lot of Democrats on there that were really actually going crazy, telling all the Republicans, "I hope your children die." That lady said, "If your husband beats you, I'm glad. I hope he beats you more." I was like, "Oh Lord, somebody help him,"
Mhm,
and that's just actually completely unreasonable.
mhm.
It's just people completely spazzing out. And then I feel like on the other side there's people completely gloating over Mr. Trump winning, and I'm not saying he's not the better candidate. I would actually think he would be the better candidate
Just
in this
as a
situation
president,
as
right?
far as a president goes. But people on the other side that are
That are
gloating, right?
being totally,
Insensitive and
in a
tone
way,
deaf, really.
as he himself would say, nasty about it. Because, okay, I see on the internet people weeping,
Mhm.
okay? People are heartbroken
Yeah.
and they're cutting other people off because what they see is this dichotomy is a total dichotomy.
Mhm.
And either we vote for Miss Harris, who they, are
Promote as Go
as
ahead.
the answer, for in that way, or you're voting for this racist, misogynistic, crazy
And
man.
that's
And how could
ridiculous.
you? And it breaks their heart, right?
Yeah.
And then people on the other side are like, how could you vote for this, woman and that doesn't
Who's
even, she's
a
not,
bad leader, she's a
yeah,
liar, she's a
this,
phony,
that,
she's a
and the other.
fake.
And both sides are so angry at each other,
Mhm.
so angry at each other for the way they
People be
voted.
unfriending each other.
But Peyton, I feel like people don't realize how the other side is thinking. They think you must be a horrible person for you to vote for him. But I think there's people that voted for him that don't think of him or themselves in that, like, they don't see that dimension. They don't see it at all. They don't
Mhm.
see it at all. They don't see him as a racist or misogynist. They would never vote for him if they did. They're not evil people. They literally don't see him
Yeah, and
like
that's
that.
not to say Mr. Trump is a I don't
Isn't
think he is like
We're not saying what he is either way. We're just talking about how people perceive
right
him.
how he is perceived
And
in
same on
general.
the other side. There's people that are, voted for Mr. Trump that are like, how could these people vote for Miss Harris? They want to ruin our
She's gonna
country. They're
destroy
not Americans. They
yeah,
don't care about
she's gonna
us.
destroy
They
our
just want to, they
children.
have horrible values. Yes, she's going to destroy our children. No. No, 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 no. They don't see her in that dimension at all. They would have
Mhm.
never voted for her if they
If
thought
they
of her
thought she
that
was
way.
gonna
They
right.
would have never voted for her. These are not evil people against
Mhm.
evil people doing evil things. No,
Yeah.
everybody did what they thought was, not everybody. Not everybody. Some people are evil and some people had evil intentions. But I would say, I don't know if the majority, but I would think the majority, a lot of people
Mhm.
went and voted and did what they thought. This is going to be the best thing for our country, for me, for my family, for my community. All I'm trying to do is help. I think
Mhm.
that's what most people went to do
Yeah.
when they went to vote. That's what they did. But now, and that's what they did, but they can't have the faith that that's what their fellow man did,
Right.
because all they see is the anger and pain inside themselves. And I'm not blaming people for being, one track minded, only seeing their side. I'm not, that's human.
Because
I'm
what
not
else
blaming
can
people
you
for
see,
that.
right?
But what I think you can do is be patient. Don't blow up.
Mhm.
Don't get too angry at people. Don't cut off everybody, because the dust is going to settle. And if at the end of the day, if we could have a conversation that was untriggered, if we could somehow remove all these triggering words or
Mhm.
redefine them in a way that we can all understand and accept, we would understand, okay, we are all caught in an inescapable network. We are all caught in this network of mutuality.
Mhm.
We're all tied in a single garment of destiny. What affects one directly affects the other indirectly.
Mm.
We can't get away from it. We can't just unfriend each other on Facebook and that's the end of it. We
Mm-mm.
can't just, I'm not talking to them anymore. Well, too bad for, it doesn't work like that. We're stuck here together. We're all Americans. We all care about our country. We all want to live in a better place. We all
Mhm.
want a better world for our children. We all want better education. We all want cheaper food, okay? We all want better housing prices. We all want the same things. We disagree about the way to get to it, and I understand there can be vitriol there, but let's hold on to each other as a human
What can
family.
we find that is in common, right? What can we find
Where's
to
the
agree on?
common
Where
ground?
where can we find peace and why don't we look for that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Like, we need each other.
Mhm.
All these things that we're fighting for, that we want, better education, better housing, better, healthier food, all these things that we want, we need each other to get them.
Absolutely.
We
And if you
can't get
start
it
cutting
done
people
without each
off,
other.
if you start cutting people off, you'll wish you didn't later.
Yes.
Because everybody God gave everybody a gift, and if you cut somebody off, you might be missing out on that gift.
Exactly. In a community, we all share with one another. I bring to the table what I can do, she
Mm.
brings what she can do, and there's an exchange. Common, commune, shared.
This is
That's what
simply the
community that's what
collective
community mean.
acknowledgement
Exchange
and
and
use
use of
of gifts.
gifts. That's all
We make
community
our
is.
children say it every day.
Make them memorize it, because if they learn nothing else, and God willing, they're learning their math and reading, but if they learn nothing else from us, may they learn what the true meaning of community is. and how much we need each other as human beings.
I always tell them I'm in class, right? Because you got big words in there, like the acknowledgement and exchanging and use of gifts. So I always give them the examples, right? So you're a fireman, you're a police officer, and you're the baker, right? Are you gonna get mad when I have a fire and I call the fireman? No, you're not gonna be mad. You're gonna be so glad I didn't call you because you're the baker.
You didn't know
You
what
know,
to do
and
right
nobody
then.
needs to feel left out because I called the baker. No, it just wasn't your time right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think a general understanding of that would help people not lose their minds so much.
And to me, that's another reason. And I'm talking about me personally. I don't need everybody to, I want you to comment, but I don't need everybody to come judging me in the comments because I'm not judging you. You voted or you didn't vote, you did what you did, and that's your thing. You did what you thought was the best thing, and I'm not judging you for that. But that's another reason I didn't vote because it's so polarizing.
Hmm.
Who'd you vote for? I ain't talking to you.
I think we maybe have a responsibility as children of the reconciliation, to find peace and common ground on
Hmm.
all levels.
And everybody might not
And there are some
be in that
Christians,
position.
yeah, there are some Christians who are not showing themselves to be the manifestation of the sons of God.
Hmm.
So
But as that is who we're part of, who our families are, who the church is that
mm,
where we are, I think that's part of our job.
yeah.
Brother Steph said something so good. He said, there's such a difference between the people who are on the political ladder
Mm.
and the people who are climbing Jacob's ladder. You remember Jacob's dream? He saw the angels of heaven
Ascending
ascending
and
and descending.
descending.
And we know angels just means messenger. So it can be heavenly,
Yes.
can be the heavenly angels that we picture with wings, or it can just be a messenger of God, a prophet, a preacher, going up the ladder, getting the word, getting the vision, getting the prophecy, and bringing it back down to the people. They're bringing a whole different narrative than those politicians are.
Yeah, and politicians can only fit inside the narrative of politics, so it cannot be a holistic answer.
Mm-hmm.
Prophecy can only be the holistic answer. So if you're looking to Mr. Trump as your savior, I'm sorry, you're going to be misled.
He is not the
If
Messiah.
if you are looking to Miss Harris, or we're looking to Miss Harris as your Messiah, you are not going to find it there. You can only find it in Jacob's ladder. Now, if people climbing the political ladders aren't going to be able to do it for us, and I'm not saying that they can't positively affect us. Obviously, it affects our lives, and we can read about their policies, and we can be as educated as we can. But
And
at
we
the end
should
of the
be.
day, prophecy wins, and understanding that will allow you to know history. It will allow you to know reconciliation. It will allow you to know all the happenings of the world and how to actually be the most impactful because you're at the seat of where God is working and where God is moving.
So that's the story. That's why me and Peyton didn't vote. Um, y'all can feel free to let us know in the comments how you feel about all that. Don't hate though. Don't hate. Because we're out here with love. All we want to do is connect with people, connect with others, and we want to help fix what's going on in our world. We want to help wherever we can. And I know we can't help everywhere, but whatever we can do, whatever peace we can bring, whatever love we can bring, whatever community we can bring back is what we're here to do. Is what we're here to do. That's what we're passionate about.
Absolutely.
So, well, you all know what time it is. Peace, love, and hair grease.